Hey there, and welcome back to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we've got some really interesting source material you shared. It's a YouTube video,
Mhm.
right, about homemade sunscreen.
That's the one. Yeah, using ingredients you might just have lying around the kitchen or bathroom.
Exactly.
Mm.
And our mission, really, is to dig into the specific ingredients and the methods they're suggesting in that video
Mm.
and figure out what they claim these recipes do for sun protection. Then, sort of,
Hmm.
see what that actually means. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to look at what the source presents, understand the claimed benefits, the applications they describe,
Right.
and then kind of hold that up against what we know about effective sun protection. It's fascinating stuff, these home recipes.
It really is. But yeah, critical to understand the limits too.
Definitely.
Okay, so the source video kicks off with one that sounds, well, incredibly simple. Milk and lemon juice.
Yes, that's the first one. The claim in the video is that raw milk can supposedly help reverse a suntan and offer some protection.
Protection from sun damage.
That's what it suggests, yeah. And something about stimulating collagen for a glow. It also mentions cold raw milk for soothing after you've been burnt.
Okay, soothing afterwards makes some sense. What about the lemon juice part?
Well, the source points to the vitamin C, claiming it helps with spots, pigmentation, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And the method is just mixing, 2 tablespoons of raw milk, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and dabbing it on. Says it absorbs instantly.
Okay, so that recipe sounds like it's focusing on soothing skin, maybe some longer-term benefits from vitamin C. But as a sun protectant, before you go out, how does that stack up?
Right, and this is where we need to look really closely. Milk might have good things for skin health, sure, and lemon juice does have vitamin C.
Which is good for skin, generally.
Generally, yes, over time, but neither of them are, recognized sunscreen filters. They don't block or absorb UV rays effectively.
So dabbing it on before going in the sun?
The idea that it offers any meaningful protection, no, that's just not supported by science. And actually, the lemon juice, because it's acidic. Applying that, especially before sun exposure, can make your skin more sensitive to sunlight. It can lead to irritation, maybe even like a phototoxic reaction, a kind of burn triggered by UV.
Wow, okay. So potential risk there from something claimed to help. That's really important. All right, shifting gears then. The source moves on to another recipe.
Mm-hmm.
This one includes an ingredient we do see in commercial sunscreens, zinc oxide.
Yes, this is the aloe vera and zinc lotion. The source gives a recipe, let's see, a base of aloe vera gel, jojoba oil, water,
Oh.
and then adding 3 to 4 teaspoons of zinc oxide. And the claim is this mix gives you SPF 15.
SPF 15 in a homemade mix. How does the source say that works? What's the mechanism?
So what's interesting is how they explain the ingredients. They state that aloe vera itself can protect skin, says it blocks up to 20% of UV rays.
Aloe vera blocks UV.
That's the claim in the source, yeah. And then the zinc oxide works by, quote, physically scattering the sun's rays, preventing harmful UV.
Mm-hmm.
They also suggest maybe adding vitamin E for moisturizing, but maybe not if you have oily skin.
Okay, so the source's idea is aloe does some blocking, zinc does the scattering. Now, zinc oxide is a proper UV filter, right? We see it all the time.
It absolutely is. It's a mineral filter used widely.
But claiming a specific SPF, like 15,
Yeah.
just by mixing it up at home,
Yeah.
is that reliable? Can you even do that?
Well, that's the critical point, isn't it? Zinc oxide is effective. It works mainly by absorbing UV and converting it to heat, and yes, some scattering too. It covers both UVA and UVB.
Oh, right.
But getting a consistent, reliable SPF rating
Yeah.
in a homemade lotion, that's incredibly difficult. Probably impossible, really.
Why that?
SPF testing is rigorous. It depends on particle size, how evenly the zinc oxide is spread through the lotion, how it actually sits on your skin, the film it forms.
Wow.
Just mixing some powder into a base, especially one like this with water and oil that could separate, you have no guarantee of even coverage, or that the concentration is actually enough to hit SPF 15 everywhere.
So relying on that would be pretty risky.
Very risky, yeah. And the aloe vera claim. Blocking 20% of UV. While aloe is fantastic for soothing sunburn after, the idea it's a primary sunblock isn't really scientifically validated for reliable protection.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense.
Uh,
The science behind formulations is complex. Okay, so the third approach in the source sounds simpler again. It's a spray.
An aloe vera, glycerin, and rosewater spray.
Okay.
And this one's described as a mild sunscreen formula. And again, the source repeats that claim about aloe vera being a natural, effective sunblock.
Right. And what about the glycerin? What's its role here, according to the source?
The source says glycerin acts as a barrier. against sun rays and pollutants, and it locks in moisture.
So the recipe is basically mix aloe juice, some glycerin, rose water in a spray bottle, sprayed on, and that's your sun protection.
That's the method described, yes. And look, glycerin is great. It's a humectant, draws moisture in, keeps skin hydrated.
Yeah, you see it in lots of skincare.
Exactly. But does it form a physical barrier against UV radiation or pollution in the way they suggest for sun protection? No, it doesn't work like that.
And rose water?
Lovely for hydrating, toning the skin, refreshing, but again, zero UV protection.
Okay, so this spray, hydrating, feels nice maybe, but essentially zero sun protection.
Pretty much, yes. Refreshing mist, not a sunscreen.
All right, so just to recap the source material we looked at, we had the milk and lemon juice blend,
Claimed soothing and maybe some skin benefits, but risky with the lemon in the sun.
then the aloe vera and zinc oxide lotion claiming SPF 15 based on aloe blocking and zinc scattering.
Right, but with major questions about achieving reliable SPF in a homemade mix.
And finally, that aloe, glycerin, and rose water spray described as mild sunscreen, but really just hydrating.
Exactly. So the source material definitely offers some, fascinating insights into using these simple natural ingredients.
Yeah, the creativity is interesting.
It is, explaining mechanisms like zinc scattering rays or aloe blocking UV. Even if the science doesn't fully back up the effectiveness for sun protection as claimed, it shows how people try to use what's around them.
For sure.
But here's something to think about. The source itself emphasized that these homemade things work for only a short time, right? And need frequent reapplication.
Yeah, they did mention that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, even tested sunscreens need reapplication.
True, but when you combine that need for frequent reapplication with the fact that these homemade recipes lack reliable, tested UV filters, well, it raises a pretty important question for you, the listener. What does that actually mean for you when you're thinking about finding sun protection that genuinely works, that's reliable, fits into your day, and, crucially, keeps your skin safe in the